Yo, what's the crack? My name's Kieran, welcome to Spearhead, the metal art channel where we dive into the darker side of graphic design and illustration. So I'm just going to do a totally different type of video here today. We'll have a bit of fun. I'm going to react to a designer called Consume's logo that's on their channel. I'll link it all up in the description. I've just kind of had a quick glance at this and the name is absolutely outrageous, but the logo itself looks really cool, so I'm interested to see what sort of like processes this designer uses, and maybe we can see if they're similar enough to a few of the things that I do. But before we get going, I'm just going to say a big shout out to Dean over at Photo Manipulation channel for giving me the kick up the arse to kind of really take this channel seriously and giving me a few really good ideas. So big love, bro, nice one. Right, I'm not going to burn the ears off you too much longer. We're going to jump right in and see what Consume has to offer. I've sped the main part of the video up double, but I've left the intro the same length. This is really cool. I'm liking the style here. It's that Xeroxy kind of vibe. This designer definitely knows what they're doing. And I love that logo. That's definitely India ink on an L84 and then scanned in. Oh, the name of this band, like what the hell. If you know what band this is, like let me know in the comments. I'd love to check them out, but I'm never gonna remember. So this is that's Autodesk Sketchbook Pro, I think. And what they're doing is they've basically written out the whole thing. They're going back into Sketchbook here using the mirror function to really loosely, with like a very rough brush, they're banging out their overall shape here to get an initial feel for what the logo is going to be. And you can see they're striking off each letter as they go. Like I'd have a conniption if a client came to me with a name that big to do a logo for. I wouldn't know what's going on. Well, there we go. There, straight away, that's something that I love doing. Loads of warp here, bit of bulge, loads of arcing. I even saw a nice liquify pass there to get the shape nicely nailed down. And here you can see they're going in, so they've reduced the opacity on their sketch layer, we'll call it. And now they're going in on a new layer here and making another sketch layer. And I love that, using nice bits of warp and liquify. I don't know why they're going back and forth between Sketchbook and Photoshop. Maybe this was recorded in multiple passes. Maybe they're using like a tablet or something, like an iPad or something. So can you get Sketchbook on an iPad? Maybe. I'm liking this though. This is mental. They're using the hard lasso tool there. Where they? Yeah, okay. So they're doing the drips. Are the drips on one layer? The drips and the letter are on this. Okay, so they're building up their letters with a lasso tool here and filling them up, and then they're adding nice organic drips using their brush tool. But they're doing it all on the same layer, I think. Or is there sketch the very bottom layer? No, this is all on the same layer. This is nuts. I'm really liking this. It's already coming together really well. This guy or gal has a serious control of their lassos. You can see they're very methodically going through this. It's like they're feeling out the letters, they're thickening things up with the brush, they're cutting things away, they're adding their drips in all in the one go. I'd lose my train of thought so quickly. I'm almost losing my train of thought here watching them do this. It's very impressive. I'm really liking it. This is reminding me of a good mate of mine, Lewis Pinto, Logotomy Designs. He does work in this style a lot. And he loves taking these little indents out of the letters as he goes to give it like a lot of busyness and some three-dimensional kind of depth and stuff as well. Yeah, this is sick so far, no complaints. You can tell this designer really knows what they're doing. Really good control of the lasso there. You can see they're keeping selections open and adding new selections on. And I really like how every letter is nicely weighted. They all feel like they're part of the same alphabet, you know? Part of the same typeface. But it's bonkers that I can't get over it that everything has been drawn on the one layer. I'd be so scared. Like I would get my letter forms nailed down and build up the full logo before I start putting in these details and these drips. This guy is going ham and it's paying off. It's clearly not their first rodeo, you can tell that a mile away. It's funny as well that they're building up all of their details on the left hand side of the mirror. And I have a feeling that they're going to go in once the left hand side of the logo is completely drawn and the details are all locked in and bulletproof. Then they'll go in and start chopping the other side of their logo out and changing the letters just to keep that symmetry and all. It's a nice workflow though, it's very impressive. I'd love to know what the total time was on this, how long they took. Again, the video they uploaded is 20 odd minutes long and I've doubled this to fly through it. Very nice lasso controls here. I'm really impressed. Almost looks like they're using the pen tool, they're that good. Loving it. It looks like, if anybody's familiar with Warhammer 40k, you know, the Tyrannid faction, the mad aliens, Gene Stealers and Hive Tyrants and all. That's the vibe I'm getting off the tendrils and the sides and the spikes. Look, he's putting in even more detail here. This is deadly. Very cool. You might have noticed a nice little thing that they did there with the shape tool. They put down a nice shape below the logo that I think they're probably going to use as a guide to build a nice symmetrical perfect circle over it with loads of detail and stuff. Or maybe they're using it for a guide for these extra adding arms and branches coming in. Loads of detail. I love the kind of mix of the brush tool, the softness and the kind of gloopy drippiness, and then chopping bits away and kind of going sharper and harder with the lasso. God damn. Look at these two arms on the top left and the top right. Bonker stuff going on. What are they doing here now? So they're using a real soft dauby brush to fire in. That's mad. Look at that. You guys watching this should really pick up a few little tips here. I know I am. So loosely firing in the really dauby kind of brush strokes so that they can feel where the framing and these big huge tyrannid looking scythe like tendrils are coming in. You can see there where they've used the circle as their guide and they're building it up to really add to the symmetry of this logo. This is it's absolutely mental. Like, I'm actually kind of a little bit gobsmacked by their lasso work. Again, I'd love to know just how long this took. And it kind of scares me that they're firing it all on the one layer. Like, I'd be so spooked doing this myself. But you know, different strokes for different folks. Quite literally in this sense. Different stroke weights for different folks. Nice, going in with the liquefy, going in with warp here as well. Playing with their shape. Wow, really chopping in, adding extra bits of detail and motion, giving a lot of depth to the forms. It's very organic, isn't it? It really looks like something out of Warhammer 40k, and I mean that in the best possible way. This is awesome, Consume. You've got a new fan here. Jesus, that's wild. I like that they're throwing in the gradient as well, so early on, so they can kind of get a feel for how they're gonna render it when it's all finished and bulletproof. How they'll kind of add color and stuff to it. Their workflow is so straightforward. I'm the kind of designer that ends up with like 100 different layers, and I need to constantly remember to name my layers as I go, or else I don't know my arse from my elbow, you know what I mean? But Jesus, this is amazing. They know exactly where they are. Everything is deliberate and sharp. They're doing a nice check to make sure they've got all their letters sorted, and now they're going in. They've got both of their sides nicely reflected, and as I imagined, they're chopping out all the bits and adding in bits to create the other half of the logo's letters. So yeah, they've made a new layer now and they're going in with red to kind of lightly go over it. I do this all the time. Never done something on this scale though. There must be about 50 letters in this logo. As I said, I'd have a conniption and I'd probably hide in bed all day if a client asked me to make a logo this big. I wouldn't know where to begin. Like, so yeah, a lot of the same processes that I would use. A lot of different ways of doing things though, and that's the beauty of design, isn't it? That's the beauty. We all pick up different tips and different kind of processes along the way that suit us, and it's nice to be able to share them with people like Consume doing here by recording the process and putting it up on YouTube for idiots like me to do commentary over. So holy God, I'm gonna pause that because that is just unbelievable. You could put that up on the wall in a museum. Do you think in 50 years time, or well 500 years time, if we don't blow planet Earth to oblivion, that people are going to be looking at logos like this, logo type and works of art like this, and be like, God damn, what were they smoking back in 2020? I'll collect my thoughts and we'll have a chat now in a second. So yeah, holy Jesus, fair play Consume, that was amazing. Really enjoyed watching that, and it's nice to see a lot of the same processes that I'd be passing on this channel being utilised by a logo designer of that calibre. And it was really enjoyable kind of throwing in my 2 cents and talking a bit of pony over the top of that. So if there's any videos that you guys like on YouTube of people whacking up logos, speed art, metal album covers, anything, send them my way if you want to hear me throw my 2 cents at them. So again, big shout out to the main man Dean over at Photo Manipulation for giving me the idea to do this and kind of giving me a push in the right direction. Stay tuned, and I'll be putting out some more tutorial videos in the very near future. I'm going to be doing another tier list video and maybe some top 5s of my favourite designers and illustrators and a few of my mates, because I want to shout out some of my mates in this channel as well. So yeah, cheers for watching guys, you're all absolute legends. This was a load of crack. I love yous and leave yous, and I'll see yous in the next one.